When we last heard from Colin Kaepernick, he was publicly throwing his adoptive parents under the bus for being white and therefore racist. He was also appearing in videos that directly compared playing in the NFL to slavery, only to turn around and beg NFL teams to hire him just a few months later. This is one of those side-by-side clips that it's worth rewatching for a couple of reasons. One of them is that it's hilarious and never gets old. The other is that, like everybody else in the country, you've probably forgotten all about this clip because you've wiped everything related to Colin Kaepernick from memory. So just to refresh our memories, here's a little side-by-side comparison clip. Let's watch it.
They don't want you to understand is what's being established is a power dynamic. Before they put you on the field, teams poke, prod, and examine you, searching for any defect that might affect your performance. No boundary respected, no dignity left intact.
Come on, boy, hurry up. Look at that shape there. Look at this. Mr. Favre, I got your bid. 30, James, 30 to you. 100. So, next one coming up, best one we got. 500. 600. Right here. Look at this here. Come on, who wants this? 700. There we go now. 1,000. 1,000.
We want to make sure that we come out, we show everyone I can still play, still throw it, and really just looking for an opportunity for a door to open, to have that be a pathway to be able to get back in there, get a starting job, and lead a team to a championship.
And that's your message right there. But if there's an NFL scout, any member of an NFL organization watching you today, what is your message directly to them after the years that you have been off the field? What is your message to NFL teams?
That I can help make you a better team. I can help you win games.
Look, we're really just out here trying to become slaves. Really just looking to be a slave. And listen, my message to teams out there is I want to be your slave. I want to be. You can enslave me. I'd be a great slave for you. I'm really well equipped to be a slave. Just get me up on that auction block, and I'm there. And let's go win a championship. Okay, let's go win. I'll beat the other slaves. The other slaves got nothing on me. I'll defeat all the other slaves in the slave competition, and I'll frankly be the greatest slave. I'll be the best slave. I still could be one of the best slaves that's in of all of slavedom. That's what he said. Now, when I posted this video on Twitter a couple of years ago, even Kaepernick's defenders were stunned by the utter shamelessness of it. There's really no way to come back from a clip like that. Once you compare a career in the NFL to being a slave, you can't turn around and say that you really want to play in the league again and be a slave. People will tolerate a lot of hypocrisy these days, but that's a bit much for most people. And it was around this point that BLM types started to realize what everybody knew for a long time, which is that everything about Colin Kaepernick is fake. He's the single greatest con artist to ever play in the NFL. He's the greatest con artist in the history of professional sports. So he disappeared, and the rest of us began focusing on things that are more important than Colin Kaepernick, which is a list that is quite literally endless. But Cap was unfazed. He did not retreat into obscurity to preserve whatever dignity he might have left. Instead, apparently, he set his sights on rejoining the NFL. That's what Cap says he's been doing for the last 2 years, trying to get back into the league that dumped him nearly 8 years ago when he was a middling backup quarterback. So here's an interview with him from just this week. And again, this guy's like 38 years old now. Here's what he said.
Will we see you play NFL again?
We're still training, still pushing. So hopefully we just got to get one of these team owners to open up.
What would it mean to you to play NFL again?
It's something I've trained my whole life for. So be able to step back on the field, I think that would be a major moment, major accomplishment for me. Also, I think it's something that I could bring a lot to a team and help them win a championship.
Be a major moment to step back into to being a slave again, get back out on the plantation. Would be a major moment. Major moment for me. Major moment for the plantation. and I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to be a slave. He says, I think I could bring a lot to a team and help them win a championship. And this is a quarterback who hasn't thrown a pass in an NFL game since New Year's Day of 2017. He's training every day to play professional football, which at this point is just as delusional as me training every day to play professional football. We've reached a stage of this story where Kaepernick is playing very much the role of like an obsessive ex-girlfriend still pining after a man who got married, had kids, hasn't thought about her in a decade. If he wasn't such an obnoxious narcissist, you might even feel some pity for him. In the same way that you might feel pity for like a tone-deaf singer embarrassing himself during an American Idol audition. Are you struggling with back taxes or unfiled returns? The IRS is escalating collections by adding 20,000 new agents and sending millions of demand letters. Handling this alone can be a huge mistake and cost you thousands of dollars. In these challenging times, your best offense is with Tax Network USA. With over 14 years of experience, the experts at Tax Network USA have saved clients millions in back taxes, regardless of the size of your tax issue. Their expertise is your advantage. Tax Network USA offers 3 key services: protection, compliance, and settlement. Upon signing up, Tax Network USA will immediately contact the IRS to secure a protection order, ensuring that aggressive collection activities such as garnishments, levies, or property seizures are halted. If you haven't filed in a while, if you need amended returns, or if you're missing records, Tax Network USA's expert tax preparers will update all of your filings to eliminate the risk of IRS enforcement. Then they'll create a settlement strategy to reduce or eliminate your tax debt. The IRS is the largest collection agency in the world, and now that tax season is over, collection season has begun. Tax Network USA can even help with state tax issues. For a complimentary consultation, call today at 1-800-958-1000 or visit their website at tnusa.com/Walsh. That's 1-800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com/Walsh today. Don't let the IRS take advantage of you. Get the help you need with Tax Network USA. Kaepernick is an obnoxious narcissist, in fact. And he doesn't actually believe anything that he says. He doesn't believe when he says the NFL is like slavery, just like he doesn't actually believe the police are racist. Kaepernick is a fraud who only knows how to do one thing, which is to say the right things at the right time to maximize his relevance and therefore his income. At least historically, he's been good at that, at least. He's a bad storyteller at a time when bad storytellers, for some reason, are in demand. And as if to put as fine a point on that as possible, Colin Kaepernick just launched an AI company that promises to help creators tell fictional stories. And we're not making that up. Colin Kaepernick, like Google and ChatGPT before him, is getting into the generative AI game. He actually pushes his new company in the same interview where he says he wants to get back into the NFL. Watch.
What are you doing at the moment? Tell us a bit about your new company as well.
Yeah, so just started a new company. It's called Lumi Story AI. We are focused on using Gen AI to help creators create better. So create their stories independently, help them publish them, help them merchandise them, do that all on one platform. Our vision is the future looks like every individual creator being like Disney.
That last line sounds like more of a threat than a promise. Our vision is every individual creator being like Disney. Imagine that. We can have total uniformity in all cultural output. Even the work of independent small-time creators will be indistinguishable from the slop that mega corporations produce. Hallelujah. All these creators need to do is download Colin Kaepernick's AI app, and at the click of a button, they too can auto-generate content featuring strong trans, lesbian lead characters and racist white people. Who could resist a future like that? Now, apparently, a lot of venture capital firms can resist it because Kaepernick's company has reportedly only raised $4 million so far. And that money is coming from notoriously talented investors such as Chameleonaire. And that's not exactly encouraging since Kaepernick's competitors are companies like Google, which have access to billions of dollars. And Google has already made an AI that doesn't recognize the existence of white people. They call it Gemini. It was a whole episode, you might remember it. So how can Kaepernick, of all people, possibly innovate in this space with just $4 million? Well, based on an interview that Kaepernick recently did with Bloomberg, there's actually no plan for innovation here. His company, Lumi, isn't going to do anything that other AI programs aren't already doing. His boldest claim appears to be that Lumi will enable people with no talent whatsoever to create content involving writing and illustrations, meaning comic books from what I can tell. So people who are illiterates with no drawing talent whatsoever can pay Colin Kaepernick, and then they'll be competing with Disney just like that. This is the latest scam that Kaepernick is pushing. Watch.
The interesting part is sometimes creators have gaps in their skills. So sometimes illustrators, they need help with writing. Or writers, they need help with generating images. And if you're a creator like me who doesn't have either of those skill sets, we'll help you with both of those to get to a final product from an original idea.
Sometimes creators have gaps in their skill sets. For instance, sometimes creators can't create. Sometimes the gap in their skill set is that they can't do anything at all. And Kaepernick admits that he's one of those creators. He's a creator who can't write or draw or do anything. So how is he creating anything at all? He cannot do anything. Well, you just let the computer do it. And then at that point, like, how are you even the creator if you just start pressing a button like, computer, do that? Oh, here it is. You're not really a creator. The computer is the creator, not you. Anyway, so just like Colin Kaepernick, you too can profit from being a complete talentless hack. You can make millions of dollars without having any skills whatsoever. That's the official sales pitch for Lumi, direct from the guy who founded the company and who now says that at 37 years old, I think, he can take an NFL team to the Super Bowl. Speaking of Kaepernick's NFL plans, I listened to the whole interview, and strangely enough, there's no discussion of what happens to Lumi as a company if Colin Kaepernick somehow manages to rejoin the NFL. Wouldn't that be a big problem if the company's founder gets picked up and makes a run for the Super Bowl? Seems like a material issue for potential investors to consider, but nobody cares because everyone, including Kaepernick, knows that that's not going to happen. He will never play in the NFL again, and he knows that, but he can't stop himself from lying about it. And that's unfortunate by itself, but the bigger problem for Kaepernick is that his faux victimization grift seems to be drying up. That's why he's reduced to shilling for AI companies like every other talentless con artist in the Bay Area. And, that might be a positive sign for the rest of us. Kaepernick chose to be a racial martyr instead of having the long and profitable career of a second-string NFL bench rider that he could have had. For a while, it was looking like he made a smart business decision. Book deals, Netflix shows, etc. came pouring in, but that doesn't last forever. And now Kaepernick is a middle-aged man with nowhere to go. He's telling a story about returning to the NFL that's so unbelievable, so trite, so derivative that his AI program might as well have come up with it. And that is why, thankfully, he will never again be relevant. And that is also why Colin Kaepernick is today, not for the first time, but hopefully for the last, canceled. Thanks for checking out this video. If you'd like to listen to my full podcast on the go, you can check out The Matt Walsh Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.